Part two of my rantings, guys. Sorry. Some things popped up in my head, and it seems like I'm stuck with the past trying to haunt my ass. It's 7:27 in the morning, Sunday, West Coast time, February 15th, 2026. Weaver, John C. Roseman, California. The Diary of a Griever named John Weaver, which is me. Yeah, no asshole here anyway. I am trying to go through the program of Google Earth, as I was saying before, of what home was like, and things were different back then. And how I feel so damn alienated about a lot of things in my life. And I do feel alienated. Memories hit, and sometimes I have to go through it, and it's hard as hell to even think about it or even do it. I was talking about in the other video how certain races affected me a great deal, and how much they hurt when I was being taught how to hate people left and right. It sucks. It sucks to hate. It literally does, because I am forced to think in a pattern of fear, of intimidation, and I have to go thermonuclear on people, and it sucks because I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want that. What did I want? Not to feel the anger, not to feel the hatred, but to feel like there was something. I was looking at some old pictures of how I grew up, looking at neighborhoods where I lived in. Prior to '94, the valley was, well, it changed during the '94 quake. Prior to that, there is some information on Google Earth that I'm going through to get a PDF file of an old neighborhood in Granada Hills. I used to go to John F. Kennedy High School. Go Cougars, 1985. They called us the Centurions through those days. Maybe. And I miss the old place. I did. Okay, so me getting out of this one here. I'm in an old neighborhood, old photographs. I moved out of North Hollywood on Van Owen and Ethel area. There was a house at one time, predates Google Earth's pictures. I lived there for about 3 or 4 years, still going to Coldwater Elementary on Coldwater in Van Owen area. We had to move, found a place up in Arleta, California, still in the San Fernando Valley. So if you guys are doing the Google Maps, I can show you what's going on, and I can also do the Google Earth, which is, well, shows me the time of day what I'm looking at here. Let me get it back in a modern day map here. Helps me out with the navigation, and that can go to the Wayback Machine on this one. So for me, you're going to be typing out Arleta, Arleta, on the search engine, California. Small community, close to the 514 interchange. You see, if you look at the San Fernando Valley, how compact it is. They had to bulldoze some other properties out there to either make another school by eminent domain, or more property, more housing. Widen the shot of the San Fernando Valley. Currently, you'll see how spread out we're taking territory, and it's no wonder throughout the decades we've been having more and more animal visitation issues into the suburbia and also into the urban areas. Coyotes, bobcats, mountain lions, bears, and maybe an occasional wolf. Throughout the decades, right above the 118 freeway in the San Fernando Valley, in the mountainsides, it used to be bare. I mean, the void from construction areas. But over the decades, it's encroached. We get more population, we're squeezing the animals out. It sucks. Okay, so, what I was talking about Arleta. It's right next to a town called Pacoima. Pacoima is right above it. And Arleta is in a little bit of a section that is separated by the 5 freeway. Let's go back in time, guys. Let's go back in time. On Google Earth, I'm hitting the set the Wayback Machine function here. I'm sending it back to, I don't know, 1988, I guess. But I lived in that area from 76 through 79. So nothing would change much in that territory. Well, storefronts. Some stores. I'll take out the Wayback Machine, just look at it modernized. Help me with the navigation. The 5 freeway will be the slant east side of the town. Let's go north and south, but this is how some of the streets were created a long time ago. Don't ask me about the construction. This is... At certain territories, you've got wedges left and right in the valley in different neighborhoods, which makes things not linear enough for me. But shit happens. The streets I'm looking for right now are going to be Osborne, Woodman Avenue. And it would be near a wedge. It would be. It would be at an angle. And for me, everything's an angle. There's a swath of green patch. That's where the transformers are. That's a landmark. So as I'm looking for the street of Nordhoff, and Osborne actually, I'll look for Osborne. It goes right through it. It's perpendicular. It's gotcha. It's parallel to a canal, flood control canal we got going through, and parallel to the 5 freeway. This area, the swath, goes close to a school I used to go to at Canterbury Elementary. I'm going there first. Because it helps. And besides, on the lower side of it is Bradford Park. Played there a lot. Didn't go to the library though, but I played over there a lot. The Canterbury had changed throughout the years. That's where I went to school from 76 to 79, and I graduated. And we also had diversity, but here's the thing. Sometimes when you move into an area, you think it's all right. And if you had the idea in air of, other people are just the same like you, they may be different as hell in the skin or culture-wise, but they're still people. You treat them as such. You treat them with kindness and respect and everything else that they need and deserve. But other people would feel like they're better, and they got to be a pain in the ass to a lot of people. And if you're not of one particular race or language, you're going to have a barrier problem. I learned during that time how to hate some of my students. And here's the thing. I wasn't going for a group target. I was going for individuals. Because I came into the elementary school in a damaged state, and there were stories about this one here. Dave and I were doing a last run from one house to another house, and we got into a car accident. Destroyed the damn station wagon. So I go to school wrapped up looking like a mummy in the head. My nose had been busted. They thought the bones were going into the brain, and found out it wasn't. But they kept me in the hospital for a time. So I go to school on the injured list. I'm still looking at Canterbury. I'm going to turn on the way back machine again. I'm going back as I came back to 94. I want to take a closer shot of what I'm looking at here. Let me see. Can it go over a little bit? How about 88 or 85? If I'm lucky. Maybe not so much lucky. 89. I don't care if it's screwed up or not. I want to see 89. Okay, just about. So it's an overhead view. What I remembered what the place looked like. Or it added more bungalows and everything else to the damn thing. It was a flat top back in 89. It really was. Anyway, I did have Latinas that I liked, and I didn't like. There was a girl named Elizabeth Figueroa. She was a real sweetheart. Cute, intelligent, and chasing up the guys. And here I am, a damaged white guy, looking at her, just drooling at her. I guess to me, she was a nice person. Now, either she treated me with a lot of respect, or she didn't. Or just a hell of a lot of sympathy, which I probably needed and deserved during that time, because, let's face it, I was a mess during those days. Black tarp, actually black asphalt we had for the entire school. Far end of it we had jungle gym, which did have the rubber mats. And you got hurt, but it was a good hurt. Because you were learning how to balance, you were learning how to strengthen up your muscles and agility. I'd gotten a few scrapes and bruises in the damn thing. But there are certain games that the kids would put you through. Something called Sacco. Elongated, rectangle area. Goalie on one end, goalie on the other end. Split this one apart. This was basically an elimination game. You get the ball and a goal, and you get to fire at the other guys, or one way or another. I forgot what the hell the rules were, but you're supposed to be eliminating the guys by hitting them. If they moved, you gotta track them or just hit somebody else. I was always picked last because I was the weak white guy. Not many blacks, not many whites in the school, but a lot of Latina, a lot of Latinas. And some guys I liked, and other guys I couldn't stand. When they started mouthing up and laughing in Spanish, they always looked at my confused face and they laughed even further because he's an ignorant guy. Yeah, well, one guy was going to be pushing me around, and he really didn't like me because I'm white. We fought and we got in trouble by the teachers on the ground. But despite the fact that I had health issues as a kid, I wasn't going to take the shit. I kept an eye on the prize. Even though she graduated out of the school, same grade I did. And she went over to Pacoima on me, I got bussed out of there. I never did know what the hell happened to her. But she had my heart. She had my heart. She treated me nice. I'm looking at the old pictures concerning about the school. I remember about the school library that they actually had in the place. I also remember some of the classrooms that were there. During summertime it took. And grade school classes we had. Science classes. Typing classes. And the food in the cafeteria. Pizza. The school pizza. They had that recipe out for decades. The number one traded item. Want your ice cream? Give me a pizza. And I lived in a street called Wingo and Beachy area. I would have to walk the distance. There had been some guys over here, even white guys, who were a pain in the asses to the other people. They roved around like gangs. Junior high punks. A guy named Ricky and I had to fight him off a little bit. And he hated these guys with a passion. It was one of the rare white guys I actually saw in the school. But I hung around him in the neighborhood. But there was also some other punks in the neighborhood as well. Let's see, where was BG at? Well, I go by Osborne Street, and I'll go north on Osborne until I find Beachy. And then we go, and there's a church across the street from home. It was back then anyway. Now it's overgrowth on the home. But back then, I'm looking at the Wayback Machine on this one. Church is about the same. And you had housing behind the church. Actually had a brick wall. I had kids over there who were a pain in the asses. Oh, they played with me because I was the only white kid in the neighborhood. And here's the thing. One of them I christened at the church because he broke my G.I. Joe doll. Just took it and just smashed him back his head out in front of him. Yeah, I ran after him at the church. He was walking off. And we duked. And I splattered his face all over the place. You don't destroy a guy's toy. He got destroyed. So he walked out with a bloody face. And me, I'm walking back inside with my smashed up toy. Told you about the car accident. 76. We had neighbors next to us. The Reeves. Or the Reeve. You talk about getting a balance of love and hatred in the neighborhood. This was love that these guys presented. And my family grew to love these guys for over 40 years. Things happen, we go our separate ways one way or another, but I missed the crap out of him and I loved the shit out of him. Their mother died like about several months after my mama died, back in 2018. Hurt like hell then, still hurts like hell now. I miss contact with these guys because I felt like they were my family. And I got to think about family. I do. Arleta Community Bible Church. Well, it wasn't called Arleta Community Bible Church a long time ago. I lived on Wego and Beachy, corner house. We lived there for a time. Grandma, Mama, Aunt May, me, David. 5 people crammed in 4 bedrooms. But it was home. It's horse territory in this area. In certain ranch homes that they have, or places with large yards, they can run a horse. Sometimes we'd have to watch out for the horse crap. But it was home. I guess that was the only place I actually felt I was home, to a point. Yeah. Talk about memories. Maybe another one coming up.